What if the greatest goal scorer in football history is about to lose the only trophy that ever mattered? Right now, in the summer of 2026, a 41-year-old man is standing on a field in Houston, wearing the captain's armband for Portugal, chasing a World Cup he has never won. And for the first time in his career, his own fans are turning on the people standing next to him.
Madeira, Portugal. A small island, a poor family, a boy who slept in a room with his 3 siblings. Cristiano Ronaldo didn't start as a phenomenon. He started as a kid so skinny his teammates called him a different name. Not in admiration, but mockery. At 15, doctors found a racing heart condition that could have ended everything before it began. A minor surgery, a few weeks of recovery, and he was back on the pitch like nothing happened. That's the first thing you need to understand about this man. Obstacles don't stop him. They redirect him. By 18, he was a Manchester United player turning heads in the Premier League. By his mid-20s, he was a Ballon d'Or winner. By his 30s, he'd become the first player to win the Champions League with 2 different clubs in the modern era, and the all-time top scorer in the competition's history. But here's the cruel twist in this story. Of every trophy in the sport, domestic titles, European Cups, a Euro 2016 crown with Portugal, 2 Nations League titles, there is exactly one that has eluded him his entire career: the World Cup. 6 attempts, 2 decades, still nothing. In 2006, and 21-year-old Ronaldo scored a penalty against Iran and helped Portugal reach a semifinal. In 2018, at his absolute peak, he scored a hat-trick against Spain that's still replayed today. In 2022, in Qatar, he was benched for a knockout match, and Portugal went out without him on the pitch. He cried walking down the tunnel. Many assumed that was the end.
Fast forward to now. Portugal qualified for the 2026 World Cup the hard way. Ronaldo himself was suspended for the final qualifier after a red card against Ireland, and watched from the stands as his teammates beat Armenia 9-1 without him to seal the spot. The team had also just buried one of their own, Diogo Jota, a beloved teammate, killed in a car accident only months before the tournament. Grief was already part of the squad's story before a ball was even kicked. Now, Ronaldo is 41 years old. He holds the record for the most international caps and the most international goals in the history of the sport. He is here for a 6th World Cup, tying him with Lionel Messi as the only men to ever do that. But age doesn't care about records. Portugal opened the tournament with a draw against DR Congo. Ronaldo struggled. And then came the moment that turned the whole narrative upside down. A disallowed goal from his own teammate, João Cancelo, and cameras caught Ronaldo appearing to flag the offside to the referee himself, against his own team.
The internet exploded. Was the greatest competitor in football history undermining his own teammate on the world's biggest stage? Pundits openly began asking the question nobody wanted to say out loud. Could Cristiano Ronaldo cost Portugal the World Cup? It got uglier. Frustrated fans didn't just criticize Ronaldo, they turned on the players around him. Bruno Fernandes's wife became a target of online abuse. Teammates had to publicly defend the unity of the squad, insisting the criticism wasn't tearing them apart. This is the conflict at the heart of the story. Not just Portugal versus their opponents, not just Ronaldo versus Father Time, but a legend's hunger for one final trophy colliding with a team trying to find its own identity around him, in real time, with the whole world watching and judging every gesture.
Here's what the critics forget. Ronaldo has been written off before. After Euro 2020, after leaving Manchester United the second time, After Qatar 2022, when he sat in the stands and the camera zoomed in on his face. Every single time, the story was supposed to be over. Every single time, he came back. Maybe that's the real story FIFA 2026 is
Maybe that's the real story FIFA 2026 is telling. Not whether a 41-year-old can still be the fastest man on the pitch, but whether legacy is built by trophies alone or by refusal. The refusal to stop. The refusal to let one bad performance, one viral clip, one swarm of online outrage define 2 decades of work. Whatever happens in the knockout rounds, whether Portugal finally breaks the curse or Ronaldo walks away from his 6th and final World Cup still empty-handed in that one specific category, the math has already been settled. Most goals, most caps, 5 Champions League titles, a career that reshaped what athletes believe is physically possible at 40. The World Cup trophy would be the perfect ending, but it was never the whole story. Sometimes the most powerful sports stories aren't about winning the last battle. They're about showing up to fight it anyway, at an age when everyone told you to stop, with the whole world ready to tear you apart for a single offside gesture, and refusing to disappear quietly. That's not failure. That's the most human story in sports. The World Cup trophy would be the perfect ending, but it was never the whole story. Sometimes the most powerful sports stories aren't about winning the last battle. They're about showing up to fight it anyway, at an age when everyone told you to stop, with the whole world ready to tear you apart for a single offside gesture, and refusing to disappear quietly. That's not failure. That's the most human story in sports.
So here's the question. Does Cristiano Ronaldo need a World Cup trophy to be considered the greatest of all time? Or is